Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome back to the show. We're going to be doing an analysis of some more Scarlet and Violet Pokemon. We're starting off with the bit of a bird gauntlet. We got like 4 birds in a row here. We got Kilowattrel. I'm a big fan of this Pokemon. 125 speed, 105 special attack. It doesn't really do anything else special. But it gets fine moves. Hurricane, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, U-turn, stuff like that. Seems fine. Tailwind, which I believe goes with its new ability, Wind Power. Wind Power charges when hit by a wind move, and it boosts the next electric move that you use. So it's kind of like Belly Bolt's Electromorphosis, but only with wind moves. And I believe that this is procced by Tailwind. I believe it's procced by your own Tailwind. So if you Tailwind, I think your next 3 Thunderbolts are boosted? Or maybe it's just your next one. I don't know. We're going to have to see exactly how that ability works. And if that ability turns out to be bad, you also have 2 other good abilities in Volt Absorb. It's always good to have an electric immunity. And Competitive. So if something comes in and intimidates you, you get a +2 special attack boost. If you get Moonblast special attack drops, Shadow Ball, Spadash drops, anything that lowers a stat, Competitive boosts your special attack by 2. I don't think this mon is going to end up being particularly good, but I do like it. Up next on the bird gauntlet, we got Bombirdier. The abilities, the first 2 don't mean anything, but its hidden ability, Rocky Payload, is pretty good. It powers up rock moves. It basically gives you a 3rd stab, I believe. The stats, 103 attack is fine, 82 speed is pretty middling. Out of notable moves, we have stuff like Dual Wing Beat, Knock Off, Rock Slide, stuff like Stone Edge. If you want a more kind of utility thing, we do have Memento, Stealth Rock Roost, Parting Shot, U-turn, stuff like that. Coverage like Drill Run, Acrobatics if you don't want to run an item for some reason. This Pokemon is probably below average, I'll say. If you want to talk about below average, check out Sqauwkabilly. 96 attack, 92 speed. Maybe it's not terrible. Intimidate always gives a Pokemon a certain level of utility, right? Then we get Hustle. So maybe you run like Choice Band Hustle with Aerial Ace, because Aerial Ace never misses. And if Guts is released at the same time, I believe Guts is his hidden ability. Then you probably just run Flame Orb with like Facade and spam that instead. Something like that. This Pokemon is probably going to be a one-trick pony, which will be like spamming Guts Facade. But I guess it's a fine trick. Then we got Flamigo. This is literally just a flamingo. There's nothing Pokemon-y about this Pokemon, really. But it's a flying fighting type with 115 attack, which is pretty good. 90 speed, which is fine. I think a lot of the Pokemon this generation seem to be kind of slower than average. Abilities, we get Scrappy, which is probably going to run most of the time. It gets Tangled Feet, which I believe doubles your speed if you're confused, which is not worth using. And then it gets Co-Star. So when this Pokemon enters a battle, it copies an ally's stat changes. I believe this is both positive and negative, so if your ally has been intimidated, you will come in and be intimidated with them. Also, if they set up 3 Swords Dance, you will come in and copy that as well. This is Psych Up, but as an ability. It does get some okay moves. It gets Swords Dance, Brave Bird, Throat Chop, Close Combat. Fine SD set. Also, if you want to run Choice Band, you can run like U-turn and just get momentum instead of Swords Dance. Seems fine. The bird gauntlet is over and we get Big Klawf. I love Klawf. I love this Pokemon. So it gets a new ability called Anger Shell. So when your HP drops to below half, you lower your defense and special defense and boost your attack, special attack, and speed by 1 stage. So it's not quite like Shell Smash. Shell Smash raises those stats by 2. But while you're being brought to below half, you can just set up Swords Dance. and end up at +3 attack and +1 speed. It gets good coverage moves. Stuff like high horsepower, X-Scissor, Crab Hammer, Knock Off, Brick Break. Your stab, you got typical rock moves, Rock Slide, Rock Blast, Stone Edge. Also get Stealth Rock if you want to go a more supporting route, which I think you probably don't. I don't think this Pokemon is good, but I do think it's hilarious. Garganacl, I think, is how this Pokemon is pronounced. So we got like typical rock spread stats. You know, high attack, high defense, low special attack, low speed. Higher special defense than most of those bulky rocks get though. This gets a ability called Purifying Salt. It prevents status conditions and has damage from ghost moves. I don't know if Salt is used against Ghost in some fashion. I don't really know where that part of the ability came from. But it's probably welcomed. Notable moves. You get the normal rock package like normal. Stone Edge, Stealth Rock, Rock Slide, stuff like that. Then you get like some more specific stuff. Your coverage is Earthquake, Heavy Slam, all the punch moves, Fire, Thunder, and Ice Punch, Body Press with Iron Defense. You can run a Curse set. You also get a new move called Salt Cure. So this is only 40 base power. It's a rock type physical move. It inflicts damage every turn, but steel and water are more affected by it. They take 20% chip every turn, which is a lot. I don't see that really being used. I don't think it's important enough. Fine, Mon. Probably settles in a lower tier somewhere, though. Glimmora. So this is a rock poison type. We've seen this before in the Heligo. 130 special attack, 86 speed is pretty middling. I think it has better physical bulk than the Heligo did. Notable moves, we get Sludge Wave, Power Gem, Stealth Rock, Toxic Spikes. We get Screens, Light Screen, and Reflect, Spikes, Toxic, Memento for a support package. You probably end up running a Rock Polish set, right? Maybe? Probably. It has a new ability called Toxic Debris. So this sets Toxic Spikes when hit by a physical move. That seems really good. Maybe you run like Rock Polish, Sludge Wave, Power Gem, Earth Power, probably for your coverage. Maybe something like that. Grafaiai. So this Pokemon was released pretty early, revealed pretty early. Gets Unburden, Poison Touch, Prankster. This is just a really strong set of abilities. 110 speed is fine, 95 attack is fine. Its move pool is fine. Gunk Shot, Poison Jab, Knock Off, U-Turn. Swords Dance is really what speaks out to me most here. So maybe you Swords Dance with like a Grassy Seed or something. If you boost your defense, you can actually set up. Boost your speed with Unburden. And then you go crazy with like Gunk Shot, Knock Off, and I guess Facade is your normal stab, man. I don't know. I feel like normal types really got cucked when they removed Return from the game. This also gets a signature move called Doodle. This changes ability of user and ally to the target's ability. I don't know why you would ever want to do that with Grafaiai though, because its abilities are just so good. I can't imagine wanting rid of any of these abilities. We got Dachsbun. This is the evolution of Fido, which was released early on. I was really hoping Fido would evolve to Purebred, but it did not. This is still fine though. It has an ability called Well-Baked Body. It takes no damage from fire moves and instead sharply boosts defense. It already has a really high defense stat of 115. Basically, I think this Pokemon probably settles in a low tier in a support role. It doesn't really get many moves. So you're probably stuck running like Wish, Protect, Play Rough, and like either Yawn or Stomping Tantrum. I really don't know what else you would run with this. It's fast, has good defense, has okay Spadef, has okay attack. One thing I'll say, this Pokemon I think evolves pretty early. I know it gets Play Rough at level 18. So maybe this is another good Nuzlocke Pokemon. for your early game. Mabosstif, I believe is how this Pokemon is pronounced. This Pokemon, I think, is pretty good. 120 attack, 85 speed, okay defensive stats. Its move pool is nothing terribly special. Crunch, Jaw Lock, I believe is the same power as Crunch, but like traps the opponent. So Jaw Lock might not be bad. You get a bunch of Fang moves, Thunder Fire, Ice Fang, Psychic Fang, stuff like that. You get Hone Claws if you want to boost. You also get Wild Charge and Play Rough for coverage. Get a new move called Comeuppance. So, for Comeuppance, the user retaliates with much greater force against the opponent that last inflicted damage on it. It just sounds like counter to me. Or maybe like Metal Burst, where it doesn't matter if it was special or physical. The real cornerstone of this Pokemon is this ability, Guard Dog. So, Guard Dog, it boosts attack when intimidated, and it makes moves that force switches fail. This Pokemon can't be roared, whirlwinded, dragon-tailed, circle-throwed, anything out. And if you try to intimidate it, you're going to have a very bad time. Also, this Pokemon just gets intimidated itself, so maybe there's a right meta where you don't run Guard Dog and you just run Intimidate. And Stakeout is fine. It's probably not as good as Guard Dog. Well, hold on. Let me think about that. Maybe Stakeout is good. With 120 attack, you will probably force switches sometimes. You just do a lot to whatever comes in. Maybe Stakeout is good. Brambleghast. This Pokemon reminds me of Dhelmise so much. So much so that it gets all the same moves. Phantom Force, Power Whip, Rapid Spin. That's literally just what Dhelmise ran. Except you replace Phantom Force for Poltergeist, because it could learn that. This gets a few moves that Dhelmise did not get. It gets Spikes and Strength Sap, which I don't believe Dhelmise got. It has a new ability called Wind Rider, so this Pokemon takes no damage from wind moves. I don't know exactly what wind moves are. I think Hurricane will be a wind move, and I think that's probably the only one that's really relevant. And it boosts attack if hit by a wind move or Tailwind takes effect. It also just gets Infiltrator, which is generally good, and Shadow Sneak. It's fine. Gholdengo. So this Pokemon might be kind of crazy. 133 special attack is a lot. 84 speed is middling. But it has fine defensive stats, so maybe you can get a nasty Bloodwolf with it. Steel Ghost, so we got the Aegislash special there. Some good coverage moves in Power Gem, Thunderbolt, Psychic, Focus Blast, stuff like that. We got a new ability called Good as Gold. This Pokemon has full immunity to status moves. This Pokemon can't be toxic, which is already a Steel type. What status moves would that be? Like Follow Me or something? I don't know. Stun Spore. It has a signature move called Make It Rain. This is a 120 base power, 100 accuracy, special steel move, and it lowers the user's special attack. It also makes you earn money after battle, if you want to grind money that way. Kind of like Payday. I think this Pokemon will be fine. It'll probably settle in a lower tier, though. It'll probably be broken in that lower tier and then get banned because its special attack is too high. We got Big Tinkaton. So Tinkaton has a very strong move called Gigaton Hammer. It's 160 base power and 100 accuracy. It's a steel move, physical, but it can't be used twice in a row, which is why I have Protect listed as a notable move. I think you probably end up just SDing, clicking Gigaton Hammer, and then protecting. You also just run like Knockoff for when something comes in, they think you're going to protect and try to set up on you, you hit them with a +2 Knockoff instead, something like that. Also just get stuff like Stealth Rock and other fine coverage moves like Ice Hammer or whatever. But I think SD, Protect, Gigaton Hammer, Knockoff is what this is going to end up running. Its speed is kind of deceiving. 94 speed is pretty high for a Pokemon like this, I think. Got a Primeape evolution, huh? Annihilape. 115 attack, 90 speed, that's fine. Has decent bulk stats. Yeah, it's going to be fine, probably. Close combat. So many Pokemon are hurt by Poltergeist not being in the game, man. This Pokemon would be so good with Poltergeist. But it's instead going to be forced to run Shadow Punch. It gets all the punch moves. Fire, Thunder, Ice Punch. I think it gets Drain Punch, yeah. Rock Slide, Taunt, Bulk Up, U-Turn. It's got, even get Stealth Rock. You can run Phantom Force if you want to. It's not like normal types can switch into this, right? You also get a signature move called Rage Fist, so maybe that's fine. It's a 50 base power, 100% accurate ghost physical move. It boosts power for every time this Pokemon was hit. So I don't know if it's going to get boosted by 10 base power, by 20 base power, or what. This Pokemon, while it's bulky, it doesn't have any recovery. So it's not like you're going to get hit 100 times or whatever. You might get hit like 1 or 2 times. Boost Rage Fist. This Pokemon is going to be like fine at best, probably. Clodsire. I think this Pokemon is... I have mixed feelings about this one, honestly. 130 HP is pretty good. 60 defense is poor, but you can make up with it with 130 HP. And then 100 Spadaf. So you get Earthquake. This is one of the few Pokemon that keep Toxic. You keep Toxic Spikes. Recover. Why did I put an asterisk by Recover? Was that just to remind myself that Recover got nerfed? Probably. Then you get Spikes, you get Stealth Rock, so you can just set up a bunch of hazards with this if you want to. You got Stone Edge, Poison Jab, stuff like that. You can fish for poisons. Poison Point, Water Absorb, and Unaware. I think this Pokemon is just boring, honestly. I'd rather just set up hazards with it, I think. I don't know what I want to do with this. Toedscruel. This gets a new ability called Mycelium Might, I believe it's pronounced. This Pokemon always moves last using status moves, but those moves won't be impeded by abilities. So we talked about, what was it, Gholdengo's ability? Good as Gold, this Pokemon will not have full immunity to status moves when going up against Toedscruel, I believe. So Toedscruel can Stun Spore it. This Pokemon actually gets regular Spore, doesn't it? Am I dreaming that? No, there it is, right, yeah. Right there. This Pokemon can Spore, Stun Spore. Also just gets like okay moves. Earth Power, Giga Drain, Power Whip. Its special attack and physical attack is pretty similar, so. Also just run like Spikes, Toxic Spikes. I'm seeing a lot of hazards and not a lot of hazard removal out of this set of Pokemon. That kind of worries me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really scared. The meta is just gonna be really offensive. The meta is gonna be very fast paced and kind of silly for a little bit. Not gonna lie. All right, we got Kingambit. So this is an evolution of Pawniard, or Bisharp rather. So 135 attack, 50 speed is pretty disappointing. 100 HP, 120 defense, and 85 Spadaf. That bulk might make up for it. We have Swords Dance, we have Second Punch, Iron Head, Night Slash. One thing about this Pokemon, the Pawniard and the Bisharp line did lose Knockoff. There's no tutor for Knockoff, and they don't learn it naturally. Maybe there's an egg move for it now for Pawniard, but I don't think so. So they lost Knockoff, so they're going to be forced to run something like Night Slash or Throat Chop or something. Or maybe this, its exclusive move, Cloudcleave, which is an 85 base power dark physical move. It never misses. Other than that, this Pokemon is going to be running like pretty standard shit. You just SD, Sucker Punch, Iron Head, and Cloudcleave. That's probably what you run. The rest of the moves probably don't matter. Abilities, it still gets Defiant. It gets a new ability called Supreme Overlord. So, slightly boosts attack and special attack when entering battle for each ally defeated. So it says slightly boost, so I don't think that's a full stage boost. I don't know exactly how much Supreme Overlord is going to boost you. We have Armarouge. This Pokemon was revealed pretty early. It's a Fire Psychic type. 125 special attack. That's strong, man. Flash Fire and a weak armor for the abilities. The signature move, Armor Cannon. So this is a special fire type close combat. 120 base power, 100% accurate, fire move, lowers your defense and Spadaf. Other than that, it gets moves like Psyshock, Psychic, Expanding Force, Flamethrower, Calm Mind. You get Flame Charge, so maybe you could just boost your speed and then go nuts with your strong stab moves. And like you run coverage with maybe Shadow Ball or Aura Sphere or something like that. Probably too fast to run a Trick Room set. So I think that's probably what you do. You probably run a Flame Charge, Armor Cannon, Psychic, and Aura Sphere maybe. Maybe you just run Specs and like 4 attacks. Pokemon's strong. Ceruledge, I believe, is better than Armarouge. I'll go ahead and say it. 125 attack. It's also faster with 85 speed, and it gets Swords Dance. So maybe you run SD, Shadow Claw, the new move Bitter Blade. This is a 100 base power, 100 or 90 base power, 100% accurate fire physical move. Heals up to half damage took, so it's kind of like Drain Punch, whatever. So it heals you after you SD. Seems really good, man. It gets decent coverage in close combat, Poison Jab, Iron Head. Maybe you can just boost your speed with Flame Charge with this too, right? SD, Flame Charge, Shadow Claw, Bitter Blade? Maybe. Maybe something like that. Alright, boys, that's going to be an episode there. Let me know if you think I missed anything. If you think I missed anything, if you think I'm spot on, what you think these Pokemon are going to end up running on Showdown, all that stuff. But thank you so much for vibing with me, playing some Mons with me. I love you.